Hello! It's your homeschool doula here, talking about schedules today. It's beginning of October right now, and we are about a month and a half into school officially. We do a lot of unschooling in the summer, but we try to do a little bit more of a scheduled in the fall, winter, and spring months, depending on what we got going on. If you haven't watched my previous video about homeschool learning styles, go back and watch that. I'll link it here, because I'll be referencing a few of those ideas in this one. Today I'll be going over a few of the most popular homeschool schedules and how to use them in your home and how to know if those might fit you and your family's style. And I'll be using some of those terms that I referenced in my previous video. So I'll be going from most structured to most flexible in this video. So the most structured is the traditional block. This is what it would look like if you got your child's schedule for public school in the mail. So you'd have a grid system, and every hour or every half hour, depending on how old your child is, you switch topics and you do a different topic every half hour with time for catch up or homework in the afternoon. This is a really good style for people who want very strict schedules in their lives. They need to have something rigid. They need to have something they can rely on. They need it to be structured and organized. Everyone needs to know exactly where and what they're supposed to be every half hour of the day. And some find it works especially good for them if they have large families and everyone has their own schedule. And so you have all on the family schedule and it's very organized and laid out. This can also be difficult for families because it doesn't allow for much nuance. It doesn't allow for much flexibility. And as you know, there's a lot that goes on in our homeschool life that requires flexibility. The baby needs a nap at a certain time or doesn't want to go down for a nap. It's supposed to be time. Or a potty training child needs a bath in the middle of the day and throws off your whole schedule. Or you just want to go to the park because it's beautiful weather, like today, and that throws off your schedule. So if you want to have a flexible lifestyle, traditional block schedules might not be the best option for you. So the next option is a relaxed schedule. This one is semi-structured. It gives a lot more flexibility to your day. You and your child know what you need to do, what you need to accomplish every day, but it's a little more flexible of when you do those items on your list. The child or you can decide based on what's going on around your life that day when makes the most sense to do your schoolwork or that specific genre of your studies that day. The loop schedule is a favorite of the Waldorf families, and it is what it sounds like. You have a list of all the things you want to do in your homeschool day or week, and you just go through the loop. You do maybe items 1, 2, and 3 the first day, and the second day you pick up on item 4. And you go, maybe you only do the 4th item that second day because it's a long one. You're just going to delve really deep into it. You're going to do it for the whole day and just like soak it in. It's totally good. And then the 3rd day you do items 5, 6, 7, 8. Do them real quick. It's very flexible and you will get everything done because you'll just go through the loop. And it doesn't matter how fast or how slow you do them. It just matters that you keep going through the loop. A variation on that is that there are certain things that you're supposed to do every single day. It's called your dailies. And then after you do your dailies, then you start working through your loop. Maybe it's stuff that you don't need to do every day. That could be science for some families, or art, or typing, or whatever is on your list of things that you want to do but aren't as strict as every single day that you must do them. And so the most flexible is the checklist schedule. And this works the best for older students or for really self-motivated students. And this one you have either a daily checklist or even a weekly checklist of this is what you need to get accomplished for the week. And then just go at your own pace, do whatever you need to do as long as you can get them finished in that week. It's all good. And some students find that they like to work ahead and knock them all out Monday and Tuesday, and then just have the whole rest of the week to work on their own individual projects that they're interested in. Or some say, I know I can get them done eventually, I'm not worried about it, and so they work on their own individual projects the whole week and then get them all done Saturday night. I don't necessarily recommend that idea, but it works great for some students, and as long as your student is self-motivated and can do it, then it's up to them. It's their schedule and they can do it that way. So that is the most flexible, and that's more of an unschooling method. Well, it's not exactly unschooling, because unschooling, you wouldn't assign them anything, but it's very much child-led learning. They would have a list of things they want to accomplish that week, and they get to choose when they want to accomplish it and what they choose to accomplish. So those are the 4 most popular types of homeschool schedules. My main point for this video, I want it to be, is don't be afraid to mix it up. Don't be afraid to try again. Don't be afraid to reevaluate. Homeschooling is famous for just being flexible and going with what your family needs. It's very individualized to you and your children. You don't need a third party to tell you how to run your family's schedule, run your family's day. A lot of people don't even like calling them schedules. They call them a rhythm, your daily family rhythm. What do you usually do in the morning? What do you usually do after breakfast? What do you usually like to do after lunch? It doesn't matter what time of day that necessarily is. Just generally after lunch, what do you do? Whenever that happens to be on the clock. So don't get so fixated on the clock. My mom she's an amazing lady, and I quote from her all the time, but she has a beautiful saying that I have totally taken into my life with my children, is watch the child, not the clock. It doesn't matter what the clock is saying. What is your child saying? Are they totally enthralled in the subject and can keep going for another half hour? Or are they barely hanging on and can last 10 more seconds? Do you need to stop and go outside? Or can you keep going because they're interested still? Watch them and gauge your schedule or your rhythm based on your child's willingness to learn and attentiveness to the subject at hand. You can always come back to math later in the afternoon or in the evening, and they will get so much more accomplished than if you tried to just push through and power through all the tears and crying and grumbling, and it will last 3 hours in the morning where it could have taken 10 minutes in the evening. It just very much individual, child-led. Don't watch the clock. Be flexible, be willing to switch it up, and be willing to try something new. The best schedules and the best rhythms of the day are ones that you include your child in when you're making them. If you tell your child this is what you're going to do, like it or not, then they will put their foot down if they're anything like my children and will test those limits and see, are you really sure this is what I'm going to do? But if you include them in the process, say, what do you feel like you need to accomplish every single day? What are the must-have necessities of our homeschool? And when would you like to accomplish those? Right after breakfast, right after lunch, in the evening when it's calmer, whenever it works for you guys. And then what are some things that you want to learn? And let's put them on the schedule as well. And when would you like to do those? And how would you like me to help you with those? They'll be so much more excited to learn and more willing to do their schoolwork than if it's a forced learning system. So, as always, you know your children best, you know yourself best. I have full confidence in you that you'll be able to figure out your homeschool schedule and your rhythm for your day. Hope this helps a little bit. Let me know what system you are drawn to the most, and in my next video I'll show you what we do with my family.